Hi everyone. Yes, this is the 2015 Toyota Aurion. You might be wondering why Performance Drive is reviewing such a mainstream and even somewhat bland sedan. Well, this is an Australian car, so it's produced in Australia, and it's very likely to be the last Australian produced Toyota Aurion ever. Toyota might decide to produce more of them overseas, but in terms of the Australian production, this is the last one. It was recently facelifted for 2015, so there's slightly little trimming updates and a new interface inside. Under the bonnet is the same 3.5 litre V6. It produces a mighty 200 kilowatts. For the mechanically minded, you'll notice that it's horizontally mounted. That means it's front wheel drive, unlike the Holden Commodore and Ford Falcon rivals. Of course, all that power has to go through these 215 17-inch tyres. That's quite narrow, especially for 200 kilowatts. How does it manage? Well, we'll go for a drive along a mountain road and see how it goes. Let's start it up and have a listen first. So push button start. It sounds quite throaty. Definitely sounds like it has 200 kilowatts. It's responsive as well. So the decor in here is all traditional Toyota. It's very easy to live with, very manageable, not overwhelming in any way. For the 2015 model, they've got a new interface instead of the aftermarket style setup that they used to have. It's very simple to use. You've got some apps. You've got your home button, sat nav, then all your climate settings down here. This is the Presara model, so it comes with all of the creature comforts that Toyota offers. There's even a blind for the rear windscreen. The sunroof as well. There's plenty of room inside. I mean, my head is nowhere near the ceiling, and there's miles of leg room. It's comparative to the Ford Falcon and the Holden Commodore. Let's have a look at the back seat. Again, it's all about clutter-free, easy motoring. Miles of legroom and lots of headroom as well. In saying that, there's no frills about the interior. It's all very grey. You've got some silver look trimmings, but apart from that, that's it. You're just getting a car. Got some rear vents for the rear passengers and the armrest with 2 cup holders. Also got bottle holders in the doors that have been divided up so you can put various things in there. If you're after a large sedan, you don't really care about being a Ford person or a Holden person, this is probably the car for you. It doesn't scream out that it's trying to be anything other than a large sedan, and I guess that deserves some respect. But obviously Australian customers aren't buying into it anymore. Sales have dropped consistently over the last 12 to 24 months. For example, last month in September, or during September, they sold just under 300 Toyota Aurions. Compared with the Holden Commodore, which sold around 2,200 examples, you can see that the Australian buyers would prefer that. Even compared with the Ford Falcon, the Toyota Aurion is the least popular vehicle. Ford usually sells around 400 examples of the Falcon every month. Let's go for a drive and see what she's like. So we're reviewing this as a bit of a send-off to an Australian-made. We wouldn't say it's an icon. It's not as iconic as the Holden Commodore and the Ford Falcon rivals, but it certainly has its place in the local industry. Unlike the Holden Commodore and the Ford Falcon, the Toyota Aurion has always been front-wheel drive. And with 200 kilowatts on tap, it becomes an interesting combination, because the front wheels obviously have to do the steering, but also just the way the laws of physics work is when you accelerate, the front of the car tips up, or probably more accurately, the back squats down, lifting the front up. That unweights the front wheels and the front tyres, which means less traction. And if you've got 200 kilowatts there, it's even, you know, more of a struggle to get it through to the road. Around these bends, the Aurion it's fairly bland. I'm not going to try and sugarcoat it with any interesting phrases or anything like that. The steering is a bit numb. It doesn't really feel progressive, and there's very little feedback. It's just a steering system. The handling is not too bad. There's not too much body roll for what it is. You can poke it into a corner, and it will stay fairly confident. So we'll just go around this corner and I'll give it some. So the suspension is a bit wayward. It's a bit washy. It's not 100. Doesn't feel 100% planted. But that's because it's comfort oriented, so it's set up to be comfortable rather than sporty. But there's plenty of traction. I mean, for that much power, you'd expect it to be spinning away the front wheels like crazy, but it's not too bad. I'll just stop and turn the traction control off and see how it goes off the line. So you've just got to hold it down for a couple of seconds. And I'll just floor it straight off the mark. So there's a little bit of wheel spin, just a slight little chirp, and that's it, and it's away it goes. Up against the Holden Commodore and the Ford Falcon, it's very similar in performance. It might even beat a few different variants of either the Commodore or the Falcon, depending on which variant. There's a 2-litre Falcon and the LPG, obviously, the lower powered Commodore, and then the SV6. So it depends, but it definitely stacks up very well. I think the best part about this car is it's just that it's so humble. It's not trying to be anything other than itself. It's just a means of transport with lots of room, good build quality, and very reliable. Downsides? Well, the driving dynamics aren't the best for this class. Sending all that power through the front wheels is always going to be a task. And probably the fuel economy. This is averaging 11.5, and I've done 113k so far, so it's not the best, but you do get a lot of power, so it's just the trade-off you have to pay, I guess. We will be doing our usual in-depth written review on performancedrive.com.au soon, and include our usual performance video, so stay tuned for that one. Thanks for watching.